Hi besties, welcome back to another video, another monthly wrap up. How does it feel like I'm filming one of these every single week? July is done, we're into August and summer is over. July has been weird-ish reading month. I had a release that was my most anticipated release of the year. My most anticipated release of the year just already happened. Let's get into it. Alright, 5 books in the month of July. I read 2 of them on my Kindle. That's why I don't have them here. I'm gonna say like 4, maybe 5, because one of them I started in June but finished in July. So I'm kind of including it in both of these videos. So you've probably already seen it on my June wrap up. And that book was The Crimson Moth by Kristen Ciccarelli, I believe it is. It was a very easy fantasy to follow, witch x witch hunter. It was very fun. I read it in 2 days. We follow our main female character that's a witch, and witches are not allowed to exist in this world anymore, and she's trying to save all the other witches that are either in trouble or imprisoned or anything like that going on. And we have our main, I forgot the names, the male main character that's a witch hunter and loves witches. He kind of knows that she is the Crimson Moth and he's gonna try and hunt her down. It's like enemies to lovers because they're trying to outsmart each other. They start like dating, things going on. If you want a nice fun fantasy, just read it. Oh, and I did give it 4.5 or 4.25. I don't remember, it's been a while. The next book I read was Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This right here was my most anticipated release of 2024. I've been waiting for this to come out for months. This is part of a trilogy, so this is the second book in the trilogy. I really loved Reckless. I know there's many mixed reviews on it, but as Lauren Roberts said, that this is going to be kind of a breather book in the trilogy before shit hits the fan when the third one comes out in April. I vibed with it. I loved it. I can't really say what it's about because it's probably going to be a big spoiler for the first book and what happens there, but again, I'm following another cat and mouse, a little chase going on, enemies to lovers, I hate you, all that, and I loved it. The end gonna make me like really angry. I gave this 5 stars. Why not? It was so fun. Next, I did need a little bit of a fantasy break, so I read People Will Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and it's just been announced who's gonna play Poppy and Alex, yeah, in the Netflix series. And I kind of approve of the cast. Like, I'm not majorly involved with these characters, but I don't remember the name of the cast, but I'll insert pictures here who's gonna play them in the show. This is my 3rd Emily Henry book, and it did kind of remind me of Happy Place. I don't have beef with Emily Henry. Like, I love her writing style. That's why I keep reading her books. Beach Read was a 4.5. Beach Read was such a nice read. I loved it so much, but Happy Place I didn't like. And this one kind of reminded me of Happy Place. Those big time jump, this constant talking of the past, which I get that we have to have in this book because that's the whole premise of the book. They keep going in the past summer, so that summer now. You follow Poppy and Alex, 2 best friends, that they have this yearly trip that they go to. Something happens, so they stop talking for 2 years, and now we're on to the present time. She works for a company that basically she gets to travel for work. She kind of gets a little bit burned out, a little bit like, I don't know what makes me happy, I don't know what I want in life. And she remembers that the only thing that made her happy was Alex, and she's like, do you want to go on a trip with me? And he's like, okay. Like, he found it a little bit weird because I've obviously not spoken in 2 years. So now we're following the little trip to Palm Springs, and you do have a few chapters like 7 summers ago and then present, and then 6 summers ago and then present, and then 5 summers ago and then present, which I have found kind of hard to follow because it kept going back and forth, which you obviously gonna have to do in a book where you kind of want to see what went down and why they're not friends anymore, and how all these trips together meant so much to both of them. I liked it. It was vibey. It sets, I like every Emily Henry book that I read, it sets a really nice setting on the book. Like, you can see everything is so cozy. It's just, it feels really nice, and I really like that. I really appreciate that, and I could see where the characters were and what they were doing. I'm not gonna lie, I skimmed a little bit of the past trips. Nothing major was going on, and I was like, can we get to the point, because you left me in a cliffhanger on the last chapter and I have to wait till we go back to the present to read what went on, and that just really had me confused. I didn't rate this book on Goodreads just because I don't know what to rate it. I don't know, because I really liked it, but then I found it a little bit boring at some parts, but it was a really good book, so I don't know what to do with it. I'm probably gonna give it like a 3.5. It was probably like a solid 3.5 because I loved the setting and I loved Poppy and Alex, although they were both kind of like annoying. I love Emily Henry, so 3.5. Then I read one of the funnest books I read in a very long time. I read The Perfect Couple by Ellen Hildebrand. It's gonna be a Netflix show, I think at the beginning of October or something like that, and I wanted to know the hype on Ellen Hildebrand. Everybody reads her books and loves it. They call it the granny book. It was so fun. I went kind of blind on it because I don't really know what her writing style was. I didn't know the stories that she wrote or like what kind of like genre it is exactly, but it's set in Nantucket in America, which, first of all, beach house in America, big yes. And you have this couple that gets married. There's so much going on. The day before the wedding, someone dies. Oh, what happened here? And you've gone trying to solve the murder. Behind the scenes, all these things are going on, and you're like, it could be anyone. Anyone could have done it, and you just don't know. You don't know because everyone has a motive to do it, but then something happens and they're just like out of the picture, and it's just so weird to follow. I ate this book up. I read it in 2 days. It was so much fun. There's loads of cheating, loads of toxic going on. You have all the families, like the bride's family and the groom's family, involved in the whole thing, and you just figure out stuff for both the families that you're like, no way. It was so much fun. It was a solid 5-star, but then the ending, because of the ending, I gave it 4. Yeah, that ending knocked 1 star off my rating, but it's okay because I'm onto the Ellen Hildebrand hype now, and I'm so excited because I've got all of her other books downloaded on my Kindle. They're ready to go. And then the last book I read in the month of July was Ribe by Sarah Rose Etter. Where do I begin with this book? This is a fiction book, and I'm not really one to pick up a fiction book, but lately you see that top shelf over there, that's not just fiction books, and I have more on the bottom on there because have been into literary fiction, book talk, YouTube, everything, and all I want to do is read and buy literary fiction books. I don't know what's going on with me, but I read this and it definitely made me spiral for a little bit. You follow Cassie. She's deeply depressed. She lives in San Francisco and she works for a big corporate company that she absolutely hates, and you follow her journey and how she hates everything. She hates her job, the corporate world, the life in the big city, most of her friends except one, I believe, how she's in a relationship with someone that has a girlfriend, and it's a lot. Very metaphorical. I loved the writing style of this. It kept me hooked. I have a full review if you want to see it on my TikTok about this book, and it just explains pretty much everything I wanted to say about this book. I have annotated quite a few bits in here, and I did not expect to do that, but the way she was talking about corporate life and like the everyday stuff going on, I felt like I really relate into it, and it did make me a little bit depressed for a good week. I probably say I kept thinking about this book. I was just in like a state of, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just kept thinking about it and getting depressed. So maybe don't read it if you're not in a good headspace, mental space. But it was a solid 4-star because I felt like it was very nicely written. It depicts a lot of everyday things that probably majority of people go through, and I really appreciated the writing style. I loved it so much. I read it in like 3 days. So yeah, moving on to what I want to read in August, and this is the last summer month, which means all of my summer reads that I've not read yet are still in my bookshelf, not being read. I'll see if I can try and get as most of my summer reads out of the way, but the thing is I'm not in the mood for just a plain romance. On to the books I'm currently reading. I have Air Fire by Sarah J Maas. It was about time that I got through Air Fire because apparently this is the last boring book in the series, and then everything just goes down after this. I get onto page 136 and there's a lot of new characters entering the scene, a lot of new places to remember and start to like fantasize in your head. And I felt like it was taking a lot of work during this UK heat wave. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get into fantasy world during a heat wave, I don't think it's given anything. I softly DNF'd. I still have it downloaded on my Kindle. I'm still reading it when I'm in the mood for it, but I'm not fully committed to her just yet. But I'll try and finish it in the month of August because I do want to get into the rest of the series because I love the series. So she's just been just on a little bit of a slump because she's so big and we are finding new things that there were not in the previous books. She's there for the moment, and I decided to pick up a dark romance. Why? I don't know. I felt like I needed something very easy to read, a little bit of drama, you know. So I picked up Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, my first Penelope Douglas book. I've not read anything before by her just because I've been terrified to read anything Penelope Douglas, just purely on the things that I hear on the internet. But this is a part of a series, a 4-book series plus 2 novellas, so 6. So I don't really know what I'm doing with myself here starting another series, but I guess we're going with it. This follows, who did it? Michael and Erica. I don't even know how to explain this series, but something happened in the past and Michael is part of the Horsemen. I don't really know what they are, but they're like the cool people in the town. And every night on Halloween, on Devil's Night they call it, basically like they party a lot, things go down, whatever. And our girl Erica apparently did something which I don't know as of yet because I'm still on page 111, so I don't know what she did yet, but she did something that she put all 3 of Michael's friends in prison and they all hate her. So it's been like 3 years since the incident and they're all out now and they're after her. Imagine what will go down. Michael, that's the love interest in the story, did not go to prison, but we don't know why because we don't really know what happened. So I'm excited to find out, but I'm terrified at the same time. So we're getting through it. It's fun to read. I'll let you know on next month's wrap up. It stresses me out, the amount of books I have to read, the amount of books I downloaded on my Kindle and I need to read, and I'm like, Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I plan on this being my beach read because I am going on holiday this year. I feel so emotional. I feel like I've been waiting for this for like years. Anyway, I'm going on holiday, so I plan on this being my beach read because it's set in Malibu. Well, yeah, it's called Malibu Rising. And I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't really know what it's about. I know it's about an annual end of summer party. Party will be out of control and the mansion that the party was held at is going up in flames. So that's all you get from the description. So I'm excited. I do have in my hands Finding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Don't ask me why I chose to pick this encyclopedia of a book for end of summer, but apparently it's happening. I've been wanting to read this for so long. It's just the size terrifies me, but I know I'm gonna love it. No, I'm gonna love it. It's downloaded on my Kindle, it's ready to go. So Boys of Tommen, is it happening this summer? We shall find out. It's not summer if you don't have an Elsie Silver book. Reckless, this is the 4th one in the series. I've been so excited to read this because it's about Winter and Theo. Yes. And this is the one with the accidental pregnancy trope, which I don't fuck with ever, but people say you love this. So I'm very intrigued to see if I'm actually gonna love this because I don't fuck with kids and pregnancies on books, okay? Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. It says in the title, Summer Romance. It would just feel wrong to read this in November. A little bit about this book. I know she's a recent divorcee and she does have kids. Again, not really sure, but I think she's kind of rediscovering herself after her divorce. Am I being wrong? It's quite short and people just keep giving it 5 stars and I'm like, it can't be that good, but it might be. And last but definitely not least, I really want to get into Outline by Rachel Cusk. This has been everywhere because I'm on Litfic Talk at the minute. This is like the book in there. It's set in Athens in the summertime, which it should just be enough for me to read because Who doesn't want to read about Grace in the summertime in a fictional world? It's a novel and 10 conversations, so I'm not really sure what that means. Is it like conversations with people? I don't really know. People love Rachel because she's the it girl at the minute on Letter Fiction Book Dog, and the cover. That cover is gorgeous. I can't. It's like that humid, hot year and I can't take it anymore. Another monthly wrap up is done. I hope you liked today's video. Give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in next week's video.